Hi, everyone. I recently wrote a blog called Big Fat Lies: How Diet Culture Deceives Us, and received a lot of positive feedback for it. So I wanted to hop on here and read the article for you in case you missed it. So again, it's entitled Big Fat Lies: How Diet Culture Deceives Us, and you can find it at mariascrementi.com/blog. What keeps us small? The messaging is everywhere. From commercials to magazines to comments from well-meaning family members, it is constantly reinforced. Thinner is better. Our culture has a strong voice in defining thin as the only acceptable body shape and size. This kind of messaging is deeply harmful for our psyches. By society's impossible metric, we will never feel like we are thin enough. Today's cultural ideal is the emaciated frame. We go to extreme lengths to lose weight, get skinnier, be more accepted. We invest copious amounts of time, money, and energy into weight loss scams and diet products. We sacrifice memories, meals, and our trust in our bodies. We disbelieve in our inherent capability to uphold our own health. We bash our bodies, judge other people's bodies, and define our success by our ability to manipulate our body weight. But you are so much more than your weight. You are so much more than a body. Every time you think an accepting thought about your body and engage in a positive behavior for the sake of health and improving your quality of life, rather than with the intent of shrinking your body, you give a big middle finger to all of the people profiting off of keeping you small. I'm looking at you, $72 billion diet and weight loss industry. In a society that profits from your self-doubt, liking yourself is a rebellious act. Caroline Caldwell. Dieting guarantees poorer health. I never thought I was dieting. Sure, I was tracking my calories in MyFitnessPal and severely limited carbs to stay on track to lose 2 pounds a week, but I wasn't on a diet. LOL. If your eating style is informed by a desire to lose weight, you're on a diet. For as long as we believe we need to shrink our bodies, we restrict our food. Food restriction, when we are not in the midst of actual food insecurity, is unnecessary, disordered, dangerous, and inefficacious for weight loss. So, most of my existing content on the internet revolves around this central theme. Diets don't work. We've been duped. Ever found yourself craving or obsessing over the very foods you're trying not to eat? This isn't because you're weak. This isn't because you can't master your mind. This is because our bodies are dazzlingly brilliant at getting our needs met for survival. Anytime we restrict, we trick our bodies into believing there is food scarcity. Our bodies promptly kick into starvation mode, a mode that activates the brain to release more of the neurotransmitters and hormones that cause cravings and drive us to eat. A mode that slows our metabolism, decreases our lean muscle mass, and increases fat storage. You know, the exact opposite of what you're after. Diets are so deeply counterproductive to our efforts at weight loss that they are one of the strongest predictors of weight gain. At least 95% of diets fail, and it's not because humans lack willpower. It's because diets are not designed to be maintained. There is not a single long-term study that shows that weight loss dieting is sustainable. Study after study shows that dieting for the purpose of weight loss only results in more weight gain. Yes, weight gain. As you can imagine, my clients and I spend the bulk of our initial sessions processing the anger and grief of having invested so much of their time, money, and energy into dieting just to be handed a smorgasbord of escalating weight, confusion around nutrition, weight cycling, body dissatisfaction, higher stress levels, decreased life satisfaction, deteriorating well-being, and low self-esteem and self-efficacy. Okay, so to add to this cluster that is dieting, millennials don't want to be on diets like Weight Watchers because it's their mom's diet. It's not cool anymore. So diets like Weight Watchers, the cunning conglomerates they are, will rebrand themselves as WW and use the term wellness to prey on young people. Diet culture will cut a bitch to stay relevant. The disgraceful shape shifter will disguise itself as Noom, Whole30, Paleo, Beachbody, and Keto, when in reality, it's just another iteration of the same damn thing. A weight gain guarantee, a wasted investment, a life thief. The dangerous, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle quip is basically another way of saying, I'm too embarrassed to call this a diet because I know diets are miserable and unsustainable. This is different. This will totally work long term and improve my health and make me happy and loved and accepted and fill the endless void I feel. Nervous smile. I don't know about you, but I don't want my lifestyle to look like tracking anything. I don't want my lifestyle to exclude carbs, our body's primary and preferred source of energy. I don't want my it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle to result in weight cycling, decreased metabolic rate, higher triglycerides, and internalized fat phobia. So you're making me think I'd rather diet if that's not a diet. Weight does not equal health. The idea that we must avoid weight gain because it puts our health at risk is nothing more than fear-mongering and is completely unfounded in the research. There are plenty of fat people who are fit and healthy, just as there are plenty of thin people who are sick. If a person in a larger body happens to be in poor health, it could have nothing to do with their weight and everything to do with weight stigma. Weight stigma alone is an independent risk factor for high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome, depression, anxiety, and type 2 diabetes, to name a few. As a result of weight stigma, folks in larger bodies may avoid doctor's visits because they don't want to be weighed, they don't want to be shamed for their weight, and they don't want to hear the weight loss lecture. Again, they are also likely to be recipients of lower quality medical care. I recently had a client share that she had 2 serious and chronic medical conditions that went completely undiagnosed until she lost some weight. Prior to that, any symptoms or ailments were chalked up to weight, and the only remedy prescribed was, you guessed it, weight loss. At least that particular client eventually received a diagnosis. There are plenty of fat people who will die as a result of undiagnosed medical conditions that healthcare providers overlook because they can only see weight. Sadly, under the care of fat-phobic providers, critically ill patients in larger bodies will all too often be fed a calorie-restricted diet, while their thinner-bodied counterparts are fed normally. The thing is, doctors and nurses know, they have to know, that the last time to put someone on a diet is during a medical crisis. Not only does this rob them of their dignity, it gravely compromises their body's ability to heal, because now, in addition to trying to fight death, it's also in a famine. Examining internalized weight stigma. As we do the important work of taking our power back from toxic diet culture, we must examine the ways in which we have internalized its poisonous messaging over the years. In their revolutionary book, Health at Every Size, Dr. Lindo Bacon prompts the reader to acknowledge the judgmental voices we've unconsciously absorbed as a byproduct of living in such a weight-centric society. Dr. Bacon includes the following quiz that will help you examine to what extent you believe the myths about weight and body size. How often do you talk negatively about your own weight? Choose clothes based on your perception of whether or not they make you look fat. Assume that someone wants to lose weight. Assume that someone should lose weight. Make negative comments about someone else's weight. Encourage someone to lose weight. Admire someone for having lost weight. Admire someone's ability to control his or her eating. Admire someone for burning calories through exercise. Assume someone is doing well because he or she has lost weight. Admire someone's slenderness. Assume that being fat is bad. Disapprove of someone because of what he or she weighs. Make comments to a heavy person about losing weight. Smile or laugh at fat jokes. If you've engaged in these thoughts or behaviors, it's understandable. Many of us have been conditioned to equate weight with morality, character, work ethic, and health. It is imperative that we rewire our beliefs around weight to create a better world for ourselves and everyone else. In the latter part of the quiz, Dr. Bacon includes 4 simple ways to begin embarking on that endeavor. How often do you compliment a fat person on their appearance? Compliment a fat person on their personality traits? Actively oppose anti-fat comments? Challenge someone who conveys a myth about body fat? Even if you aren't ready to become a health at every size activist, you can and should begin the internal work. How can you be more compassionate toward yourself? What can you do to consistently recognize all of your marvelous qualities that are independent of your appearance? Body respect starts with your own body, the one that houses you, supports you, and keeps you alive, even in self-imposed famine. Making peace. You don't need to fear or fight your body. You don't need to watch your back lest your body pull a fast one and gain a pound. This type of militant vigilance interferes with our body's innate ability to regulate our weight and invariably leads to poorer health, not to mention how it pollutes our brain space. What would you be free to think about if you weren't obsessing over food in your body 24/7? What might you be free to create if only you had the bandwidth? If you are tired of being at war with your body and ready to make peace with food, find yourself an anti-diet practitioner, myself or someone else, aligned with intuitive eating and health at every size. And for heaven's sake, stop dieting. So that's the end of the article. The references are included at the end of the article. And if you are ready to end the war with your body and make peace with food once and for all, I will include the link to my website and you can book your free consultation with me. But if you want to do that right away, my website is mariascrementi.com and you can book it right there. But I look forward to seeing how I can support you. I hope that this article challenged you and informed you and is putting you on the path toward ending weight stigma for yourself and others and putting you on the path toward authentic health. Thanks so much for watching.